It was barely 6 a.m. when the sound, loud, metallic, unmistakably violent, shattered the stillness of my morning routine. I'd just taken the first sip of my coffee when the crash erupted outside, startling me enough to spill hot liquid down the front of my robe. The peaceful rhythm of my suburban sanctuary was obliterated. For a split second, I thought a car had plowed into someone's fence. But then came the second sound, an unhinged shriek so piercing it might have cracked glass. Heart pounding, I wiped my hands on the robe, grabbed my tablet from the kitchen counter, and pulled up the security feed. My driveway came into view, then the lawn, and then there she was. Veronica Beckett, my neighbor 2 doors down, in a neon green tracksuit, gripping a dented aluminum baseball bat with the white-knuckled fury of a woman avenging some cosmic injustice. Her tiny Shih Tzu, Crumpet, barked like a fire alarm as she went to town on my mailbox, smashing, swinging, screaming. And she wasn't alone. A semicircle of homeowners association disciples had gathered on the sidewalk. Phones out, mouths agape. They recorded Veronica's meltdown like paparazzi at a celebrity scandal. She shouted nonsense about government tracking, brainwave manipulation, and betrayal from within the neighborhood. I stared at the screen in disbelief and muttered, "Well, she just screwed herself." That mailbox wasn't just any mailbox, the untrained eye. It looked like the standard issue black aluminum box, house number 2085 etched on the side, a red flag ready for the occasional letter. But inside it housed a Class 4 surveillance node, encrypted and linked directly to a secure federal data stream. It was part of a covert sting operation. For the past 6 months, I had maintained that node as quietly as I could, a task I'd inherited when the previous handler was transferred overseas. My job was simple: monitor flagged behavior in the area and report anomalies. I ran diagnostics, verified feeds, and kept the node camouflaged as mundane suburban infrastructure. Veronica obliterated all of that in 30 seconds. By the time I stepped outside, the bat was still in motion. Veronica now screaming about liberating Maple Heights from surveillance tyranny. Coffee stains on my robe. I walked down the steps and tried to make sense of the scene unfolding before me. The HOA president, Douglas Heller, a portly man with a clipboard permanently attached to his hand, waddled up my driveway. He puffed, out of breath, his golf polo clinging to his belly like it had given up. "Mr. Ellis," he huffed, "we've had complaints regarding unauthorized modifications to your mailbox." I offered to show him the footage. Veronica trespassing and committing felony-level property damage while making TikToks about aliens. Douglas blinked at me like I was trying to explain quantum physics to a goldfish. "Let's not make this a thing," he mumbled. Typical Douglas. Avoiding confrontation like it was his full-time job. Veronica, meanwhile, refused to leave. She stood right on my lawn, smartphone held high, narrating every moment like she was hosting a live crime podcast. "There he is," she announced to her growing audience. "That's the operative, deep state, hiding in plain sight." This, from the same woman who once called the police on a Girl Scout selling cookies without a permit. Her HOA loyalists nodded solemnly behind her like she'd just cracked a Watergate-level conspiracy. I turned, walked back inside, and dialed the number I was only to use in case of breach. After 2 rings, a voice answered. "Confirm protocol breach. Node Sierra, 2085 compromised," I said. "Surveillance destroyed. Civilian interference. Requesting containment review." There was a pause. "Confirmed. Initiate passive containment. Do not engage further." Less than 6 hours later, they arrived. 3 individuals. One posed as a UPS delivery man, the second a landscaper, and the third, Agent Kyle Bennett, had been embedded in the region for over a year, tracking a fraud syndicate we suspected was operating from within Maple Heights. Bennett sat at my dining table watching the footage I'd captured. He said nothing for a long time. His face was carved from granite, unreadable. "She just nuked a 6-month operation," he said finally, "and she's bragging about it online." I added, handing him a phone. Veronica had already posted several videos under the hashtag #MapleWatchdog, labeling herself a patriot and tagging everyone from local news to conspiracy influencers. Bennett didn't blink. "She has no idea what she's done." But she wasn't done. By that afternoon, Veronica was parading through the neighborhood like a war hero, basking in praise from conspiracy-curious neighbors. She nailed a massive sign to the broken post where my mailbox once stood, a garish red, white, and blue banner that read, "Liberty stands here." "I don't want your thanks," she told the woman across the street. "I just want safety for our children." The HOA, now in a tailspin, called an emergency meeting to address neighborhood security concerns, which was code for pinning everything on me. They cited me for unauthorized exterior alterations, pretending my mailbox had been a rogue artistic expression and not federally commissioned equipment. Bennett advised me to keep quiet. "Let her dig her own grave," he said. "Every post, every live stream, leverage." The best part? Veronica's tantrum wasn't even about surveillance. Her teenage daughter, Callie, let it slip one afternoon while gossiping at the community mailbox cluster. "She doesn't care about spying," Callie said, blowing a bubble with her gum. "She was mad because your bushes weren't trimmed and it was messing with her yoga zone." So Veronica had escalated a petty lawn complaint into a federal incident. I would have been impressed if I wasn't so irritated. That night, a team disguised as city workers came and swept away the mailbox debris. My lawn was once again clean. But peace? That was gone. By sunrise, Veronica was back, this time in a red, white, and blue tracksuit, filming herself duct taping a cardboard eagle to her trash can. "I'm protecting our rights," she yelled to no one in particular. He could be storing malware. He could be poisoning the HOA. Her TikTok following ballooned. The neighborhood newsletter, ghostwritten by her, no doubt, warned of external threats hiding among us. And just like that, my mailbox became suburban mythology. Some neighbors whispered it was a Russian comms hub. Others believed I was stealing Amazon packages and selling them online. Facts became irrelevant. Behind the scenes, the feds ramped up surveillance at a pest control van with thermal scopes parked 3 houses down, keeping tabs on Veronica and, more importantly, on Mark Russo, her new boyfriend, who'd just moved in with a lifted pickup and a garage full of server racks. Russo wasn't Mark Russo. He was Anthony Russo, alias Crypt Zero Whale, wanted in 3 states for identity theft and digital wire fraud. My mailbox had been capturing data on his drop-offs, encrypted packages, suspect connections, but now it was gone, and with it, our passive access. Worse, Veronica, emboldened by attention and egged on by Russo, began playing junior detective. She accused an elderly neighbor of signaling the mailman with hand gestures, claimed kids' toy cars were data jammers, and even planted a fake USB stick under my porch just to find it on video. "This is malware," she shrieked in a live stream that racked up 50,000 views. Bennett called me one night, voice tight. "She's spooking Russo. He's changing routes, moving gear. We need her distracted. Think you can play the villain a little longer?" So I leaned into it. I installed a fake solar panel with blinking lights angled right at her window. I left empty laptop boxes in my trash. I stuck barcodes on my car bumper that led to Rick Astley videos. Veronica took the bait every time. By week's end, she had a whiteboard full of blurry screenshots, lines connecting me to theories about quantum radiation warfare. At the next HOA meeting, she wheeled it in like it was evidence at a trial. Greg, the HOA president, gave up entirely. I sent the footage to Bennett, who replied with a single text: "She's perfect. She's a distraction machine." Then, the agency mailed a fake letter to my house. Gold seal, serious tone, warning that Veronica was being investigated for obstructing digital infrastructure. It wasn't real, but it worked. She disappeared for 3 days. When she returned, she wore a tinfoil hat and sat in a lawn chair on her porch, binoculars in hand, logging every move I made into a notebook. Kids mocked her. One created a cardboard mailbox labeled FBI HQ and wheeled it around the cul-de-sac. Then, Russo vanished. His truck was gone. His servers cleared out. Veronica, oblivious, claimed he'd been extracted for his truth-telling. The truth? He ran, spooked by her antics and federal heat. The operation moved into closing phase. 2 of Russo's couriers were arrested. The rest scattered. But Veronica? She remained. Her TikTok followers hit 70,000. She demanded the HOA form a neighborhood intelligence committee to inspect every mailbox. Greg, one step from a nervous breakdown, confided he was done with this circus. The agency feared she'd become a liability. Bennett handed me a flash drive, public footage, edited, enough to show the truth without exposing ops. I uploaded it anonymously under the name Maple Insider. Within hours, the footage, Veronica smashing property, trespassing, screaming about mind control, went viral. Memes exploded. Suburban Karen versus Mailbox. At first, she leaned into it, calling herself a freedom fighter, giving interviews in front of a flag. But then, the real letter arrived. A federal summons. This time, not a decoy at the next HOA meeting.